it's gotten exponentially worse in the last year or two once AI kind of like was able to pump out the content. Look at all these videos you're watching, even videos of old media. Watch the captions, watch what people have written about it, and it is all robots. It is all robots the whole way down. It's like,
and all
you
the
can just
AI
tell.
upscaling on old stuff looks so gross. It's like I don't need to see everybody's pores in this 1983 film. I'm good.
And it's crazy because it's not everyone's pores. It's the computer's interpretations of everyone's pores.
Yeah, they all look like blackheads in a lot of those, you know.
Yeah, I'm like these guys ain't gonna know. I feel for the generation that doesn't know. You know, you just gotta. Hopefully, you have people around who teaches them better. But I know that's not always the case.
The sloppening is happening.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the fucking world. I wanted that to be a little bit louder, but here we are. Welcome to Additional Crew. Today we bring you, after breaking the mysterious one Wish Willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic finds himself getting exactly what he asked for, but soon discovers that some desires come at dark, sinister price. I am, of course, talking about Curry Barker's Obsession. If you haven't watched Obsession and want to know if it's something you might be interested in, stay tuned. We'll actually warn you when the spoilers are coming. Obsession is the movie that destroyed the box office, made over $400 million on a just nothing budget, and connected with audiences far more wide in general than horror typically does, especially in this day and age. But before we get further into this, I'm going to introduce the hosts. I'm Nick. With me is Adam. What's up, Adam? How's it going, man?
It's good, man. It is good. And what a good movie. Yeah, $750,000 all in is what it costs to get this movie done. That's like not great. Good for them.
Seriously, there's something to be said about constraints in this movie saying it all. Adam,
Right.
On the recording, I'm going to say this. That's such a sick hat, dude. I love that hat.
Yeah, is it good? You like it?
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
It's it's for people that need to relax a little bit. Sometimes people, you just got to shut up and fish. It's important. So this, you may read it and you may think, oh, you're talking about fish. No, just shut up and fucking chill sometimes. Like, chatting's hard as we're doing a podcast. Like, and then, I got that little silly button maker, so I've just been making some buttons and I stick them on my hat. And then when I go out, people know what I'm about. I'm about shutting up and fishing.
He's about fishing, horror movies, and rewinding. And that sounds fair. It's a pretty good, neat little setup, honestly.
Yeah.
So before we
Thank you, by the way. Yeah, I got this for $1 at a garage sale from an estate sale. So, yeah, high haute couture, as they call it. High fashion.
Anytime you can get anything from an estate sale that like just feels perfect, it's got character to it. After that, you can give it the story you want. You can like live with it, and you're bringing that person into the future.
I'm gonna wear this hat out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The snapbacks, they're gonna snap off, and you're gonna like, it got what it needed.
That's when you have to hit it with the electrical tape, man.
Oh, dude, that is real. The hat I've worn a lot, my Northway Express Systems one, that the snapback on that one is completely destroyed now at this point. I let my kids wear it because it can still snap on the final ones.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you guys can wear this now, and I watch them wear it, and I'm like, the next generation gets it too.
Yeah, Sal's been getting into my hats lately. I love it.
It's adorable. So before we jump into the review of Obsession itself, we're going to indulge ourselves here a little bit, and we get to show off our best new finds. So Igor, take us to the best new finds.
Yes.
Adam, I always love your new finds. So why don't you go ahead and take us through some of your finds? I know you got some.
The first thing that's rad, but like I can't hold it all in my hands because it's like 100 tapes, is I was at a garage sale and there was I don't know, I can't tell ages on people anymore, but a girl in her late 20s maybe but she had 3 boxes full of pre-recorded tapes of cartoons from when she was a kid, and it's like Disney and Cartoon Network and Boomerang and like that kind of stuff. Um, and so, yeah, like 100 new pre-recorded tapes from Eugene, circa early 2000s. So not really. I mean, I was not watching cartoons then. I was studying at university. So, but yeah, so it's been interesting to watch those. As far as like, dude, I am so surrounded by things. I've been really getting into joke books lately, and this is so I picked this up, Oregon's Best Jokes. You would see this and you would think, oh, these are jokes I could tell with my family or to my child. This is one of the dirtiest, most racist joke books I've ever seen in my entire life. I didn't read it before I picked it up. I guess Oregon in the early 90s, late 80s was super fucked up. So, you
Pretty
know,
old Oregon.
yeah. And then this is called a video now player. And so back in the day, like you could get a portable DVD player. These exist in the same way that like Tiger handheld games exist. It's just like a cheap thing. But anyways, this screen actually plays the video, but it is a disc-based device. And it's got SpongeBob in it. So you just pop some batteries in, man, you're good to go. Like it'll play it like 3 times before the battery dies, and then, so, cost per play, it's probably $1.50 to watch SpongeBob if you're putting batteries in it.
Yeah, you're a kid.
Which,
you don't care.
well, I wouldn't. And I don't know if I've showed these before, but it came up and it's come up again, and I just feel like I need to talk about my Desert Storm trading cards. This is a box of Desert Storm trading cards with unopened
Neat.
packs. And so I thought
That's
what
cool.
we would do today, because I've never done this before.
Oh, no, dude. No way. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is it. It's open.
All right.
I see it. Oh, my God.
All right. This is.
Oh, dude, you started off with this China flag? Okay.
I know. All right.
Yeah.
That's
Not
Hawk
the
Missile.
Hawk missile.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
What is
Oh,
this thing?
damn, dude.
Oh, the Phantom.
I know. Man, I'm hoping for a Norman Schwarzkopf, but we'll see.
Warthog.
Could you imagine if we pulled a Saddam Hussein
Oh, no, I couldn't actually. That would be probably insane.
rolling out?
Hussein.
There they go.
Rolling. Oh, that's pretty sick.
Ooh, Allied forces.
Yo.
Yeah, the boys are back in town. The USS Long Beach. Now we're getting into some named assets, so
Okay.
that's good.
Okay. Yep. We've got
Doubles of the USS Long
Ooh.
Beach. I don't know
Maybe
if that's
there's 2
good
of
or
them.
bad. And a harpoon launcher.
The
We missed-
harpoon launch.
Yeah.
That
It's no
doesn't look like a harpoon I
Schwarzkopf.
know.
It's no Saddam. But just that
Dude, I mean, you start out with the CCP flag. That's really sick.
came in with heat.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So there's some physical media stuff and an exciting pack opening.
Oh, I mean, I love that. That's not what I expected when I signed up for this. We got to open some Desert Storm pack of cards. That is what's up.
We got
Oh,
doubles
man, I love
already.
I you should write tops or whoever made those cards. Be like,
I demand
Panini,
a new
I think
pack.
that you should rethink your idea of putting doubles in one pack. Come on.
So this one is the Victory Series, right? So this is the set that has Saddam Hussein in it.
This is the one. Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, hey, he might be in that box. Actually, that's where they found Saddam hiding, was in that box.
I picked those up, that whole sealed box, for $5 at a garage sale. And the reason I got it is because the movie Garden State, the dude has like the whole set and he's like so jacked on it. And it's like, that part was so hilarious to me. He's like talking about his Norman Schwarzkopf card and stuff. And I'm like, I saw him and I'm like, dude, I'm going to pop a Norman. I'll get my own.
Yeah. 100%. No, I mean, if you see a whole box of any trading card like that from any time, you almost have to get it. And
I find wax packs of some stuff around. Like I've got a heavy metal one, Heavy Metal Magazine, Turtles, Harry and the Hendersons. something else. But when I find them, I buy them. I'm sure the gum in them's good.
Yeah, yeah. Man, I love that. That was good. Oh, I've been on like a super hard like classic game collecting kick because of all the Sony shenanigans that have been going on. Sony basically shooting themselves I wouldn't even say shooting themselves in the foot. They shot themselves in the abdomen and they're hoping they don't bleed out. See, this is me talking optimistically right now. And so I've been just making sure I get some of these classic games around town that I've been finding. So I've got a few of those to show off. First off, I got Siren for the PS2. This is like survival horror by some of the folks who made Silent Hill. They've recently gone on to make other games. Just spooky looking, it's like got people's faces up close. That's how you know it's scary. Up close
I'm
faces.
old, but PS2 was prime gaming, man.
I love the PS2 so much.
The quality of games, like, yeah, they were blocky and stuff, but like the heart and the story put into those games that just never got better.
No, and like the variety, like if you didn't like this sort of game, there was 88 other genres out there that you could do. And I apologize to everyone for saying 88 other genres, 89 other genres that you could do. I know. What happened? It was the Desert Storm. It got me real excited for some nationalism. I'm sorry, guys.
Holy shit. Right there. That's what I'm about. What's on Pumpkin's head up there? I heard they're coming after us. Peter Thiel or something today said he's coming after leftists, and I'm like Cascadia ho, so guess I'm going somewhere. Maybe they'll plug me into a data center to be organic batteries or something.
Realistically, that has to be where we're headed because all the water in the Hudson River is going to dry up at some point, right? That's
what am I, like 70% water?
Yeah.
You can probably make 3 different pornographic furry AI images with the water in my body.
I'm also pretty sure that you can rehydrate with cockroach blood. That's cheaper than real water. Rats probably too, especially if they have like antibiotics getting pumped into your bloodstream at the same time. So this is not scientific advice. No. I want to be clear about that. The next thing I found that's really cool.
Hey, guess what? Own your things.
Yeah, exactly. Own your things. Clock Tower 3, more weird survival horror. This is one that I've always heard is really good because it's by the same people who made Resident Evil, Capcom. I haven't played this one because it always looked a little off to me. But you know what? Off to me, and in the future, I'm going to love it. I'm sure that it's going to be way more messed up than I actually am thinking it is.
You play the first one?
No, I haven't played 1 or 2.
I like the Capcom horror games. That one's very good. You'll like it.
This is what I've heard. And I've always looked at that cover and be like, I don't know. And I decided, you know what?
That's just what I'm saying about the PS2. The art always just kind of looks like that. Like Tekken 2 looked bad, but it was so good.
Oh my god, the Tekken series is just it's amazing.
Tekken Tag Tournament with Tekken Bowling. I used to play Tekken Bowling for hours.
The Tekken Tag Tournament was amazing, and then I think Tekken 5 on the PS2 also had like a brawl mode that was so simple, and all you had to do was press square, but you like went and killed a bunch of like goons that were running at you all the time, and it was so fun.
It was like Double Dragon style.
Yeah,
Streets of Rage.
It's just like send 100 people at you, and none of them can do anything, and you just take them all out.
That's why I like Dynasty Warriors too.
Yeah.
You just Dynasty kill 800 Warriors. People.
Samurai Warriors 2, I played on the PS2 so much that I figured out how to unlock all like the secret items. I'd be like, I know you need this one for X 4+4% to attack with this one character, and what you have to do is you have to get through the mission in 3 minutes or less, and it was a lovely game. Just so much fun.
I just like playing as Boo with the big baseball bat.
Dude.
That was my favorite.
I have gotten stuck on so many of those games because I wanted to beat Lubu and I couldn't, but I decided like it was a mission where it's like you can run away from him, you know what I mean? There's like you run and get out, he's gonna kill you, and I'd be like, no, I'm gonna kill him. And then I just would never progress in the game because I was so dedicated to this. 2 GameCube games I'm excited for. I got The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest Edition. So this is the one that's apparently harder. I've played the 3DS, I've played the GameCube or the N64, of course, but I've never played this one, and it's coming out on the Switch too. But you know what? Let's go
I
backwards
had
for a
that, but
minute.
it was a gold case. So that must have been the first one that came out, and that one I didn't play the remastered one. I got rid of that probably at CD Game Exchange 500 years ago for 50 cents or
Yeah.
something. But like,
Hmm.
boy, that's one I wish I would have saved. That's a heater. That's really nice.
Oh my good, yeah, that one I'm
And
excited
you
for.
got the cool one.
I got so many PS2 games that I sold for nothing when I upgraded to a PS3 or an Xbox 360, even at that time. That I should just be like really upset. I'm gonna choose not to. Last one, and this one is a neat one. This is Geist from the GameCube, the second ever M-rated game that Nintendo produced.
Really?
Yeah, and it is a first-person shooter. Again, a Nintendo-produced first-person shooter where you play as a ghost that possesses soldiers and takes them to their death. So, um, this one was new to me, but
I've never
M-rated
heard of
games on
it.
the GameCube are a little like whenever you see them, you're like, what is this thing? This has got to have some story behind it, and apparently, it only kind of does. Yeah, so those are it. I'm like full on in game
That's
kick right
it.
now because of the Sony stuff. It made me
I did.
mad.
I found they're out in the garage, but I did find my NES games.
Sick,
So I got
yeah.
a stack of those. I don't have the player anymore. I've got an N64 with like 20 games that I've had forever, um, with the Dux Color controllers. So those are cool.
That's cool. Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, I PS2
And
is
I
like
have a
my bread and
PS5 and
butter.
I want to sell it now.
I know, right? I'm just mad at them, but it's like the PS5 is gonna be worthwhile because it can still play the stuff like PS4 and PS5 games. But Sony, screw you, man. Moving over to make optical discs for phones, like get out of here. You are just it's all bad. Whatever bad things you could say about something, I want to say
You
right
make
here, and I'm just
headphones
gonna
and fucking cameras. Like that's your lane.
yeah. Why are you making optical
Walkmans.
lenses for other people's phones? Stop. Make the Blu-ray discs. It scares me because like they say that it has nothing to do with movie production, right? But less Blu-ray discs in the world is still less Blu-ray discs in the world, and they're going to stop and they're going to pull back on movies. You can't convince me they're not going to.
Well, of course they are. They're going to pull back on all physical media. And the fact is, the world's flipping more towards physical media. So they're going to. I ain't going to buy a new one of these ever. I'll get a flip phone. I don't care. I'm over it.
Mm-hmm. No, for real.
It's like, oh, this controls your life. Nah, that's a choice. I know people trying to make it feel like it's not a choice and you have to have it. Well, maybe I don't want to live in that world. If you become homeless for not having a smartphone, well, then I guess that's what will happen to me.
Well, I would be amazed. I think that like, and I don't know, maybe I'm on the wrong sort of work, but I think as long as you can make a call and text at some point and be reachable, you're fine. And even then, it's a little bit iffy. Like the amount of times where I use my phone where I could have used a computer instead is basically 100%. And the thing about a computer is it's way more intentional. It's not just something I pull out and look at.
That's the point, right? The intention of
Mhm.
sitting down to do it means it's something that's truly important to you and is worth your time.
Yeah.
Phones have that trap of just trapping you in with like serotonin, serotonin, serotonin. I watch it happen to my kid with his tablet, and like, it's so weaponized at this point, like just
Hmm.
to make people not pay attention. I can't do it anymore.
And seriously, if you're like one of these people who's like, well, I've been okay with it forever, I have I've been thinking a lot lately that it's gotten exponentially worse in the last year or two once AI kind of like was able to pump out the content. Look at all these videos you're watching, even videos of old media. Watch the captions, watch the what people have written about it, and it is all robots. It is all robots the whole way down. It's like
And all
you
the
can just
AI
tell.
upscaling on old stuff looks so
Mm-hmm.
gross. It's like I don't
It
need to
does,
see. I don't need to see everybody's pores in this 1983 film. I'm
but
good.
and it's crazy because it's not everyone's pores. It's the computer's interpretations of everyone's pores.
Yeah, they all look like blackheads in a lot of those.
Yeah, I'm like these guys ain't gonna know. I feel for the generation that doesn't know. You just gotta. Hopefully, you have people around who teaches them better. But I know that's not always the case.
The
But
sloppening
before I
is
get sad with it,
happening.
Right. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. Before I get too sad with it, let's talk about Obsession, because Obsession here is going to be more of a celebration. So first off, before we get into the heavy duty spoiler feeling things about it, let's give the folks who haven't seen the movie a spoiler free kind of overview of it. So Igor, take us to the spoiler free likes and dislikes of the film.
Yes.
I love
Um,
this.
he's a
Wrap
wonderful
it up
little guy.
with physical media. Look right over his shoulder. They already put Obsession out on 4K. You just go get it and watch it.
And you know what's cool is
He owns it.
it costs the same price as what they're asking for it on Amazon Prime to buy digitally, quote unquote buy. And look at this, 4K plus Blu-ray plus a digital code. It's the same price. You get the digital code. Like, what are we? They are stealing from you, people. They're stealing from you. And you're letting it happen by saying you want convenience. You get the convenience. They're just stealing from you. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
speaking
This
of which,
movie
awesome
is
answer.
new, right? We watch a lot of old movies because that's kind of my lane. But this movie is like Cabbage Patch Kids new, like new.
Mm-hmm. I think it came out February or March of 2026, and this is just June of 20. Oh no, this is July of 2026. And it came out on physical on the 14th. It's the 16th right now, so we're like right in the lane. So here I'll quickly go over my little spoiler-free, vague review of this movie. So here's some positives. Pacing of this movie is quick. It does not slow down. Like once you are going, you are going. You don't have to worry about your attention span. I don't care what your attention span is. It can keep up with this film. Another positive, every key scene in this film is impactful, even if you know what's going to happen. If you're like one of those people who's like, oh, I can guess what's going to happen so it doesn't affect me. Trust me, they know who you are and they target you specifically.
I said holy shit out loud probably 4 or 5 times during this film.
Yes. And even when you're staring, going like, oh, this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen, then it happens, you're like, oh, damn. It manages to be effortlessly funny and scary at the same time. Like it does, and it accomplishes both. The special effects are simple, but they are super effective. And then these are my only negatives, and I'm going to be honest with you here. These negatives do not outweigh the positives. These are just very, very basic things that I may wish had been a little bit better. The movie's color palette was a bit drab for me. Of course, when you're making a $750,000 movie, I can't hold that against them super strongs. Ignore
I'm
that.
picking
Really.
nits over here.
And that's exactly what it is. And then more backstory may have aided our connections to the characters. And I only say that this is one of those things where if I'm doing the review independently based on the first time I saw it, I might not say that, but I've seen a lot of reactions where people are like completely misunderstanding intentions, which is a little interesting. So a little bit of backstory apparently would have helped a lot of people.
I just love world building, and there's a lot of whimsy in this movie, but I did feel like, and maybe not even the main two, but like Cooper's character and like the shop and Andy Richter's in the movie, like those, I don't know, could have saw more of them or built that out a little bit more, but like it didn't need it.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's just
It
me
wasn't overly
wanting something.
necessary. Yeah,
I don't think it
I
adds
agreed.
anything.
No,
But
not
I love
anything that he
Andy
does.
Richter.
Well, I'll talk more about Andy Richter because yeah, I agree 100%. Adam, give us your thoughts on this.
So with the, you're talking about the effects. I liked that filming style. To me, it kind of grounded everything in a bit of reality. It wasn't overdone. It wasn't overproduced. The lighting and the sound was great. So the drabness was kind of like, to me, like prison-esque, like you couldn't hear the water dripping down the walls, but like that kind of like, so I get what you're saying, but it felt, to me, it like was a good part of the world building. So I actually give that a plus because it felt like like a dark place to be. You know, um, these two kids, the actors, well, the director and the actor, and then we'll talk about more of their stuff later, but they've been doing short films together for a long time. And they're flippant. In all of their stuff that they do, they're casually flippant about everything, and it's funny. You know, like they take things way too far. And like if you go watch any of their videos, it's the same thing they did in this movie, and it's like this sense of not taking something that's absolutely insane serious enough. Like nobody's really, you know, the shit people should be doing, they're not doing, but like it's such a great vehicle, right? The like couldn't care less like attitude about such, anyways, love that because it's just the kind of like dry sarcastic humor that I love that's like intertwined throughout this movie, and it like catches you off guard. It's great. And it's the youth, you know, these are 20 something, they're young 20 somethings, mid 20 something kids, and on the surface this is a silly movie. Like the concept's like, oh haha, you know, and we'll talk about that later too, but like they take something that on the surface level is not that severe, but just like wreck you with it. So, you know, like impressive. And I love seeing new artists getting things made on a larger scale. Boy, do I like these guys doing longer form content. I love their short form content. Their long form content's even better. It's just to kind of watch the talent build, somebody make art, and come to this point, like with the YouTubers nowadays. Like I think you're just going to see a lot more of these. So many good animators and filmmakers on YouTube, and there's so much garbage on there to sift through to find the good stuff. It's nice when those diamonds get unearthed, because I've been following these guys, I don't know, 4 years or something.
It's funny because my kids, one of the channels that I do let them watch, that's kind of like, you know, super Gen Z coded, but it's Shiloh and Bros, right? And it's over the top. It's very kind of annoying in a lot of ways, but it's just a bunch of kids that make these films together, like that are based on like Nintendo properties, right? They're like making like Pokemon or Mario Kart or whatever, and they're just making stories around them. And no, it's nothing super offensive, but I watch them and they have like 30, 40 episodes, and I'm like, these kids are gonna really know how to do this when they're older. Like they're really gonna know how to do all of this stuff. They're gonna have the blocking, lighting, all of it down by the time they're, you know, 18, 20.
Yeah. Well, the level to entry for filmmaking has never been lower than it is now. You know, it's, you get a $40 phone at Fred Meyer's and make a movie if you want to. It's going to look bad, but you can still do it. When we were younger, the cost to entry to make a film was brutal. You know, it was at least $300.
You get one of those old $40 cameras from Walmart from like the mid 2000s, man, and you're not even making a little picture book.
I got the VHS camcorder down there that we can use to record with sometime. That shit has a sweet patina on it, you know. But I don't think it would work for a whole movie. I think you'd get sick of looking at it, you know.
Also, at some point with some of these old technologies, they might break in the middle of doing it, you know. Like they hold out for a long time, but like maybe not that long.
No, it'll never break.
You're right. Okay. So after this, if you're listening and you haven't seen Obsession, this is where you tune out. You go watch Obsession, then you come back because it's worth it. I don't want to spoil this movie for you. Go watch it. Come back afterwards. You'll get to hear us talk about it. Don't worry. We don't go away. However, your first viewing of this will go away if you listen after this point.
It's a must watch.
It's a must watch. Okay, so Igor, take us to the spoiler heavy parts of the review, the human stuff.
Yes.
Could I get that on a t-shirt?
We better, honestly, actually, at some point. Look, between you and me and whoever else listens to this, I don't know who owns the rights to Brain Scan, but I probably need to talk to him.
Cool.
At some point.
Let's call him up. Let's get him on the podcast.
I'll call Edward Furlong. He'll probably say, well, you go ahead, do whatever you want.
We stole your child.
He's like, you weren't going to do anything with it. Anyway, so the human stuff story, the story and philosophy of this film. So we're just going to talk about like how it kind of connects with us as people, because there's a lot in this movie that is, I mean, it's related directly to a relationship between a, you know, what are the right words to describe Bear? Shy feels like one, but it's not exactly the right word. Like inassertive.
I think relationship's a strong word.
That's pretty fair. I think with the way we've seen it is not a in any way, shape, or form healthy relationship. But I think that because of the way it's going, it's still a relationship because they've attached each other, and one of the people doesn't have a choice.
Yeah. So then, I mean, yeah, you're right. Functionally, it's a
I
relationship.
agree with where you're coming
As
from
far
with
as
this
the
one.
definition goes, it is a relationship. Like the
I 100%
relationship
agree with the heart
between,
of what
yeah.
you're saying here. 100%. Trust me. Like,
No, you got me.
first off, first thing first, I will get it out of there. Bear is a piece of shit. Okay. So, like, I'm not here to make anything, because Bear has like 2 or 3 opportunities to actually maybe do the right thing. And each time he fails the test completely, showing his true colors underneath. Like, we don't start the movie with Bear as a complete piece of shit. We start the movie with Bear as a coward. But
Yeah.
by the time he realizes something is wrong, even at all, like the first time she screams no at him in bed, or she doesn't scream no, but she screams, "What the fuck?" You know, really loud. He should be like, "I'm out, dog. This ain't right. Something's wrong here." Because look, Molly, an excuse they give, any of the excuses they give, someone having a mental health break is also in a vulnerable position that can't make these decisions. And if that's where you're starting from, and it gets progressively worse from there, and he still doesn't make a break at any point, like you can't let him off the hook for this, right? So Bear is the
It's a
villain, and
key
it's funny.
point of the movie, right? And I think
Mhm.
when people start rolling into the movie, they'll be like, "Oh, this poor kid," you know, and oh, he just wants to be loved. And yes, that is very sweet. But boy, does it become toxic immediately.
Well, it's like I think one of the things they did really well was they made his character someone who is a believable and can be relatable to like different experiences in your life. Like when you're too afraid to jump off and ask someone something, or when you think
Yeah,
like it's unattainable, that's a really relatable feeling.
right.
So they base that character on him, so that way you start seeing maybe things in yourself that you can relate to Bear. But the issue with that
I
is,
think those feelings of like insecurity and like fear and anxiety are all very common nowadays.
Mhm.
I think yeah, at the beginning of the movie I totally felt for the guy. Like I get it. Like yeah. No, but they turned him into a real piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
It was awesome though, you know? Proved its point.
Well, yeah, and in a movie where you know you have someone who is capable of murdering people and capable of causing great trauma to the people around them and self harm, and this isn't at all. I'm spacing Indy Navarrette's name in this movie. Nikki's fault. Duh. In a movie, none of this is really Nikki's fault. However, it is happening through her body.
I
You have
don't
a
care
movie where this.
how like far it's gone, but when it gets to the point where she cooks your dead cat and feeds it to you for lunch, like realize that there's a huge mental disconnect going on. And yeah, I don't know. It's his fault though. Like he couldn't see, the fucked up thing about this movie is he couldn't realistically like leave either. That's not how this curse worked, right? Like that would just torture
Mhm.
her, right? Like the that's the fucked up part, right? Like, what's his answer to it? Obviously, he should have asked for help and like freaked out and like got friends involved and stuff and been like, I don't know, you know, it's what he didn't do that. But like, when the only answer is to shoot yourself, now he shouldn't have kept trying to have a romantic relationship with her.
That
Yeah,
and that's the part. The scene where she's asking him to kill her, right? I don't think Bear should have killed her because that's not the answer. But he has a turning point. It's almost like the Walter White "I am the one who knocks" moment, right? When he goes, "Is it so bad to be with me?" And you're just like, "Oh, fuck you, Bear. You didn't. What the fuck?" And she has the perfect answer. Of course, she's saying, like, "I've never been with you, Bear," and that's a total like zinger. But like, also, this is the moment where you're like, you can definitively say he's lost the fucking plot. He's off his rocker, and he's the fucking guy who's making, he's the one doing all of the real bad in this movie, despite the physical bad that's occurring elsewhere.
I mean, at that point, all the bad had happened anyway, so he's probably psycho by that point. I think that'd mess you up real bad. Somebody you love so much and you leave them for the day to go to work, and when you come home,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I would never leave again.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, I'm so sorry for abandoning you. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. Why don't you come with me and we'll go to your parents' house and get a priest? I don't know.
Straight up. Okay, so Nikki, she leaves behind this pool of piss, shit, and vomit. And it's like at that point when you see that pool, you're calling the hospital, right? Like you're like, we
Yeah.
have to take you somewhere. This isn't behavior. Like even if I think you're cursed, because I can't remember right now. The phone call happens after that, like where he gets the full definitive proof, and the restaurant scene happens after that, right? Where he like really gets the
Right.
proof. Even if you have that inkling like you're cursed, it doesn't matter. If you're standing still long enough that you piss and shit and vomit and you don't move, you got to talk to a professional.
That means she loves you. I can fix her.
And
You choke on your tongue there for a second? Yeah, right?
it's just because that's how the movie treats it in a little bit, like it's
Oh,
a
no, that was my
shocking
bear
scene.
impression. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can fix her.
It's all good, man. She just loves me now, okay? Like it's not totally weird. And I wasn't Googling the thing that I snapped beforehand because I really know underneath it all that Islona did it to her. But that's okay. Like people don't know that. Just me and her know that. That's the thing. It's this deep lack of care for who she is as a person and complete lack of complete and totally taking advantage of the situation and only caring about how it appears outwardly because he
It's
only really
sociopathic and dehumanizing, It's
Mhm.
he's a psychopath, a
Yeah.
sociopath, like, but he couldn't be until he had the power, the control, right? Old white men.
Yeah. 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 There's a pathway in this movie that leads you directly to power and all that. Like, what are these people without power? They're cowards, right? And like we see Barry's a coward, but then as soon as he has the power over, he doesn't relent.
No. Mm-mm.
He isn't given the best options to relent, but he doesn't even really try that hard.
No, he likes it. He likes what's happening. He
Mhm.
doesn't like the side effects, so he tries to ignore those, but he likes that he got something that he didn't earn, but he felt he had a right to. Old white men.
It's like, okay, let's go to Bear when he had the warning signs before he knew for sure it was wrong. I'm going to ask you a series of events and see which one is too much, okay?
All right, brother.
um,
I love this. Let's do it.
yeah, so Nikki acts strangely, tells you that her father's almost dead and she wants to go to your house, and then gets in your bed without clothes. That's one, okay?
All right, we're okay still, but like we're on the edge of like, and this is me as Bear, not me as me, because
Mm-hmm. It's a whole different. I feel that.
But yeah, like if she just needed to like decompress and it wasn't sexual and just like hanging out, like, and she was all fucked up, like stuff happens and homies do that.
Mm-hmm,
It could
mm-hmm.
be my guy friend nude. I would still let it fucking happen. Sometimes people get wasted, take all their clothes off, and pass out in your bed. Now you should sleep on the floor or the couch and let them have your bed. But so it's line-ish, but no, it's alright. That's alright
Yeah.
as long as he didn't do nothing, no diddling or you know
Okay. The next
touching.
day, you guys work together, and she never takes her eyes off of you the whole entire day, smiling.
I mean, nah, at that point, you probably just think, like, oh, this girl has fallen for me. And, like, you're probably on cloud nine and you're probably not reading the situation right because your endorphins are probably going
Mm-hmm.
nuts. Yeah.
The next day, she comes back to the house, and man, I might be messing up the timeline here. So this isn't chronological. Okay, I'm just letting you know. The next day, she comes back to the house. She spends the night, and you wake up to a dead cat shrine that she thought you might like.
Now we're talking to somebody that's not just me and that person. We are bringing in either a professional or some friends and family. Um, Things have gotten beyond what I would be comfortable dealing with.
Okay, so we're there. So the sandwich with the not me pictures. We don't even have to get that far.
No, I mean, if she would have just not, like, if she just made like a cute little "I'm sorry your cat died" card or something out of macaroni, like, that's fine. But nah, that was like real heavy, like,
She had the
at that point with everything else, because at that point he knew that, like, it's possible her dad wasn't sick and shit, like, just too much shit going on, like, just too many signs of a person having a mental break.
and then just ignoring that because you finally got what you want. So before any of like the real raw stuff starts happening, we were already at the point where it's like, you've gone too far, Bear. You should be understanding that something's broken with her. So once we, that's all. It's harsh because I say that like something's broken with her, but it's really that she's not there,
No.
right?
What is the manner of, obviously it's, like a wish gone wrong sort of thing, but is it like possession? Like, is there somebody controlling her, or is she just functioning as, my only function is to love this person as much as possible and that's it, that's my only function? Or, I mean, obviously it was mystical, but
this is a good question, and I have an idea. I think it is a possession, and the reason I think it's a possession is there's two things in particular. It's one, when she pees herself, the way they show it reminds me so much of The Exorcism. I have a hard time, believing that there wasn't some version of that being shown. Like, that was really the time where, like, okay, she's giving up now. This is her bladder letting go. This is her letting the thing in all the way. She doesn't have a choice, but this is like it. And then to the vocoder or the voice changer or whatever they used over the voice at all times, because man, is that spooky, and man, does that remind me of basically every possession movie that's ever existed. Just the slight intonation where you can hear almost like two voices going through at one time.
right. Yeah, I guess that's the vibe I got too. When he calls though and he talks to the dude on the phone, like, I also did just kind of have like a mental thing of like, it's somebody in like a fucking call center kind of thing somewhere, controlling this person, but they're too like single-minded on the task. Like, possession does sound more reasonable. Maybe deal with the devil or something. Well, obviously, we're gonna get to it later, but we might as well say it now. They When they were interviewing Curry Barker, he said, like, originally this movie came into my mind because of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror 2 and the Cursed Monkey's Paw episode. And Monkey's Paw, for those who don't know, used to be just kind of a trope of something that you could wish on. The monkey's paw had 3 fingers up and you could make 3 wishes. When you make a wish, a finger would close. But the wishes were cursed, right? So you get what you wanted, but it would come at a price. And so that's, the monkey's paw, I guess, has been a trope way before that, but his introduction to it was Treehouse of Horrors. And so, I guess the idea with that is like dark magic, possession.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like some occult's occurring at some point. There's some devils that are listening in. They're figuring it out. And yeah, I took it as like her soul on the phone in that call, right? Like, the devil does have her soul at that point, and she didn't give it up, but the devil got a soul from this whole deal.
because she was still there.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was
Now,
asleep and goes to wake up and she's in control, it's like the other thing sleeping, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And from some of the possession books that I've read, and not based on the fiction possession, just to be clear, it's been like that, where like the mind of the person still contains the original person within it, but they lose control over the body. It's not like their decision processing has suddenly changed. Usually the person is still underneath it. And I've always like viewed possession in general as a stand-in for psychosis or something like that. You know, horror uses possession to show off psychosis and like things they can't explain, that mental breaks. So there's like a fine line between what it shows and this, but yeah, I think you could classify this as almost
Like when Cybo Man has his mental break.
yeah, exactly. He's possessed by the all of the knowledge in the world. No, that was right. He was the video game, because he was playing video games and shooting dinosaurs or whatever.
Sorry.
Now,
But yes, 100%. Like that is after like you go through all that and after you get the phone call and you're aware and you know that she exists otherwise, like, man, that guy must have been so thirsty. What an
God,
absolute piece of shit.
and
it's so good because like I have no issue with the guy, but like way to make me hate this character. It was written so well, you know, that like it happens when you're watching it on screen, it feels like it happens slowly, you know, but like I think that it eases you into it as well, and then like things are way too far gone when you finally realize, you're like, holy shit, this is fucked up, this is terrible. Like it takes you long, it took me longer than it should, because I was like, oh well, because I didn't understand how the wish worked, I guess, you know, and still not okay, but like, yeah.
no, but that was
Gross.
there were a few good moments in this movie where it's like it really leads you down that path. It's like, okay, now you know what he's been doing is bad. Like if you didn't care before, you care now. And yet at no point did it like put him in the stereotypical villain point of power, because he was so pathetic the whole time.
I think they did with this movie also with the pacing of it. I think they did a really good job keeping everything in chunks, almost like shorts, you know, and like the ability to keep your attention throughout the whole film and like dialed into what's going on. And it's because everything, they don't overdo it in any scene. There's no grandiose, you know, it's all very, here's a really intense 3 to 5 minutes. Here's a really intense 3 to 5 minutes. Here's us building the story around the next 3 to 5, but it's all that kind of scroll culture we were talking about. I think people from that kind of background can also really enjoy this film, because I feel like it doesn't slow down. So it's like we're talking about this, it feels like we're jumping around a lot, but the movie, it's linear, but it does jump around a lot. There's a lot of things that aren't shown and aren't talked about. You just get, you know, it's there's no potatoes it's just the steak, you know, the whole movie's just the steak, and it's like they just, anything that's not important doesn't exist on the film.
Which one of the fun things that I talked about in this movie is like you can kind of guess in a way where this is going to end up as soon as you know the premise of the film pretty early on. There's not a lot of like plot twist changes in the plot that are happening, really. There are some like maybe like smaller surprise moments. You know, like when the guy gets $1 billion, that's a great one. But I agree, it's like these little vignettes of that, but you know what's going to happen, and it really relies on their ability to make it still feel really strongly. And this is where like every scene resonates, because show the rawest version of the thing they could show, or they do the most heinous version of the thing they could do. Like, it's not just that she stood there all day smiling with that terrible smile, which would hurt your face if you stood there all day with. It's just that she had to have vomit all over her chin and be sopping wet. Like they upped everything to the nth degree, and it really made it land, even if you knew what you were about to see.
Right. Surprising range of acting in this movie, and the actors fabulous. I would say 4 fairly unknowns, unless like you follow the YouTube circles and stuff. And Andy Richter, which I don't think a lot of people really think of him as a serious actor.
It's always so good to see him, though. Yeah.
But he's more of a comedy goofball, right? He's Swedish German.
He was the sidekick for Conan O'Brien for a long time on that show. So.
Oh, that was the joke I was making. When Norm Macdonald was on there, he did a big, long joke about Andy Richter, the Swedish German. Anyways, you should look it up. It's hilarious.
Okay, I will.
Those are like 3 of my favorite people in the world sitting on a stage talking and telling jokes, though. I love that. So, yeah, Andy Richter's rad.
I was so happy when I saw Andy Richter step in. I'm like, how did he get involved in this, first off? And second off, good for him. So good for him.
He likes good things.
He read the script. He's like, oh, that's brutal. All right, I'm in.
I bet you anything he saw some of their shorts and was like, these kids are super talented, because a lot of their stuff is comedy, absurdist comedy, and like some dark comedy, but like all the shorts are comedy. And I think if you run in those circles, because those kids are from LA, that like you would probably know that they were up and comers. But I don't know.
I'm sure Andy Richter understands. Yeah,
he was awesome though, because he's so cute.
He did what? Andy Richter Controls the World. Is that what it was called?
Yeah,
and that was a phenomenal little show.
They always took away the shows I like that. What was the Chris Elliott show called, where he was the paper boy? God, I loved that show.
I don't remember the name of that one. No, but
it's so good.
So yeah, with that, for like the actual full-on connections that Obsession makes with you as a person, I don't really know that like the storyline has a lot of incredible depth further hidden underneath it, and I don't think it needs it, because it has such good artistry on the screen, and the way it hits you is through
writing.
that.
It has excellent writing. The lines as written, I don't know how much improvisation happened, but great delivery, great lines, great writing, and once again, it's that kind of flippant style of those boys, It's pointed and jaded, and at the same time, like, lighthearted and goofy, and like, but all at the same time, which just brings such a level of grimness to it all, because that's when I said earlier about like it feels with the color and everything, it just got this realistic kind of feeling to it. They make a lot of those scenes feel like like at the party, and he doesn't want her to come, and then how uncomfortable it is to start. Obviously it evolves into something more, and that's when you look at the TV and go, what the holy shit. Like, but those builds and those moments in the writing, and just like putting those, like, God, it's so good. Quippy writing, and I love it. Short and to the point.
I think like one of my favorite parts about the writing of this movie is the side characters, right? So you've got Ian and Sarah who are hanging out. And it's not necessarily the things they say, but it's what they mean to this story. It's really cleverly well done, because Sarah is this friend who,
Sarah was like the best in the movie. She was the homie.
She was the heart of the movie, like up until the point where she dies in the most brutal fashion that you could have. I mean, and I've talked about scenes that are coming from a mile away. I was staring out that car window the whole freaking time. I'm just looking at the car window. I'm like, I'm going to see her back there. I'm going to see her back there. And when it still happened, I still jumped. And then when she got destroyed, I still went, holy shit. Oh my God. Like, anyway, back to Sarah.
She got into art school.
She got into Luther, man. And she was the one person in this movie who kept Bear and everyone else in some form of reality. As soon as she died, the connection to reality was severed. Like,
Yeah.
we saw her die in the most brutal fashion possible, and that also meant that everyone in that film was now dead.
It felt like she was the only empathic being amongst them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not saying anything about the possessed girl. That's not her choice to not be, that.
Yeah,
But you don't know her enough over the course of the film to figure out whether she had any empathy for humanity or not. But no, yeah, she was definitely the grounding factor of that group of friends. Boy, did she fall in love with the wrong guy, though.
Jesus, man. I have an issue. I have a bone to pick with Sarah, though, in this movie. And that is, so the scene with the car head smashing, okay, where she's texting him and she's like, I need you to come out and meet me at the park. And it's like 2 a.m., right? This all happens after the party they went to. And I know that Sarah's gotten a strong emotional attachment, and she may be in some way, intoxicated or something. So there may not be like complete logical reasoning happening here. But if you just watch Nikki stab herself in the face with a broken bottle, and Bear is the one who has to take her to the hospital, and then he tells you, I can't meet you.
That's a valid answer.
Yeah, like this on other days, I think she's 100% okay with being like, no, I'll come over there then. But on that particular day, I think you got to be like, okay, Nikki just stabbed herself in the face with the beer bottle that was broken. She might not be able to.
I think she just loved that guy that much, though, that she was trying to save him, and she's trying to save him from that situation. Like he's the victim.
It's crazy because this is like part of the movie that I love about this. This is like showing the people who are like, I'm the good guy. Don't worry, I wouldn't do anything bad. I'm really a good guy. I'm super good. I'm super nice, and just showing how quickly they can lose that as soon as they get grasp of what they want.
Yeah.
And it's because by this point in the movie, I'm 100% like, fuck you, Bear. You fucking suck. And she's over here like, I love you though, and it's great. And then you get to watch the moment where you're like, he might have been able to be a good person if he had gotten with someone that he didn't have control over or power over, but that power just corrupted him immediately.
Well, he had the choice, right? He had the choice of doing things the right way or doing things the I'm going to take advantage of people and hurt people to get what I want way, the selfish way. And that's so yeah, didn't really surprise me much after that. Like as soon as you know that, like, oh shit, like this person's not in control of themselves, but it's very telling. I think a lot of people are like that once they get some form of power, whether it be I'm a manager at McDonald's now, or I own an EV car company, I'm a trillionaire. Like, you just feel like I'm over these people now and I've got control of them and they will do what I say when I say, and yeah, he really gets high on that supply for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you think that there's any hints in this movie, because the situation he finds himself in is pretty, at this point, unescapable too? Like, there's not a lot of escape given in this movie. Do you think there's like a hint of the power that corrupts people also traps them within that cycle? Or am I reading maybe too much into that? Which I could be, because I'm coming up with this on the fly right now. But he has that power over her, but she also has the power over him because he's in control of that power over her at this point.
Right. Shitty things happen to shitty people who do shitty things, but when you have the power, you don't get held responsible for those things unless you hold yourself responsible. And most of those people don't. This guy shoots himself in the face, which was the right thing to do. But yeah. Most people don't get held responsible that are powerful for the terrible things that they do.
It's true.
I'm not trying to get political, but it's just everywhere.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot about power. One thing I would like to see, if anyone ever tackles obsession too, and it's just it probably wouldn't be Curry Barker. I can guarantee that because he's going to go do different things.
It would be so easy to do, though.
What you do is you make it like Flatliners, right, where you have to die for a second and then get revived, and that's how you do it. Like, yeah. You're like, how do you get out of the wish? And it's like you die for a second, and maybe like you make a company where your whole thing is like, have you been harmed by one Wish Willow? Do you wish to get out of your wish?
Rick and Morty did it, remember? Needful things. The devil runs that pawn shop in town and sells people things that have curses on them, and so Rick opens up a store across the street that takes the curses off of cursed magical items.
No, I haven't watched a lot of Rick and Morty, but I do love Needful Things, so I love that idea. That's funny.
Yeah, that's the name of the devil's secondhand store, Needful Things.
That's
that's funny.
Awesome movie as well. If you ever watch Needful Things, it's kind of terrible, but it's also great. Okay, so we'll move on to the next session, but before we do, Adam, I want to ask you a question. If you walked away with one lesson from this movie, what would it be?
People have control over their freedom and their bodies, and they have body autonomy, and forcing somebody, whether through a magic spell or through enslavement or through manipulation or through pressuring, peer pressure or anything, trying to control somebody to do something that they don't want to do is no bueno, and you should get what you deserve for doing it.
This is a good one. My original answer would be pretty similar to this, so I'm going to give a different answer that's more.
I mean, that's the answer, right?
That is, yeah, that's the one.
Also, the girl at work that seems awkward and talks to you, like maybe talk to her, like, instead of like forcing somebody with a stick to be your sex slave. Maybe just try to find somebody that wants those things with you.
It's like bad communication is so much worse than no communication.
100.
Like when like
sometimes
not being
you just
honest.
Gotta shut up and fish, brother. Sometimes.
100%. Bad communication in this film is just like the crux of all the issues. Bear being too afraid to say any of his feelings, and instead acting upon them without talking. When talking could have solved all of his issues. If he had just talked to these people, he would have found out Sarah liked him, and this whole thing would have been done because he also definitely liked her from what we saw. And then Nikki could have just been doing Nikki things,
Yeah.
And then we're all happy because she can do what she's got to do because she's going to leave the town, from my understanding. Anyway, but the one lesson I would walk away from this movie with is that if I just wished for it, got $1 billion, I am not getting involved in anyone else's shit.
Nope. Moving to the woods. See you later.
Take your $1 billion, leave those crazy people, and just say, I got a fuck ton of money. Goodbye.
Yeah. 100%. I like how just matter of factly he's like, no, man, I wish for $1 billion. And I was like, yeah.
There's you can interpret this in two ways. Either he doesn't believe this dude or he's being selfish. And I think both ways are inherently fair. Honestly, like there's no reason why if you get one wish in the entire world, you need to solve barren shit. You know what I mean?
It's really tough if you have one wish to not, like, if you knew this is my only wish, like you would want to help everybody, right? But then it's a cursed wish. Well, that's probably not a great idea because you'd be like, I want to solve world hunger, and then people's mouths are sewed shut or something.
Yeah, everyone's dead, no one's hungry anymore. Gotcha.
Right. So $1 billion, unless they drop it on you and it crushes you, it seems pretty safe.
Oh man, okay. I shouldn't do this because neither of us are prepared for this. But I wanna play a game and we can both ask questions, okay? I want to come up with some clever ways to monkey pause some simple wishes.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So we got how to solve
I
world
like
hunger.
fucking up people's lives permanently for trying to make something better. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Adam, how would you end climate change?
Yeah, remove the ozone. If there's no climate to
No
control,
climate.
and it's just empty space space touching the planet, like we're good. The air is clean. Yeah, yeah. Just take care
There
of
you go.
it.
One thing, we got it perfect.
Mop it up.
Yeah. And feel free to ask questions if you have any that come to mind. Because as soon as I said it, it got much harder to think of questions.
Okay. So, Nick, what if I was like, I wish that my mom could talk to me one last time.
Um, well, one last time. There's a lot of ways involving death that I'm coming up with immediately. Um, or or as soon as you're done talking, you go deaf and blind from
Oh, because I said one last time.
yeah, exactly. So it's like you
See,
just take away.
I tried to get you, like, I don't want zombie mom, and I don't
No,
want, yeah.
no.
Yeah,
It's like it's
thanks,
the one
man.
last
Thanks for
time.
taking away my ability to speak. That's cool, and hear and see. Thanks.
You just get like a barrel of acid dumped on your face. It's not the cool like Daredevil acid. It's just the fucking like it fucks your shit up acid.
Great. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Um. Okay. How do you fuck up? How would you fuck up? I wish for $1 billion.
Yeah, you get it. In pennies dropped on your head from the sky.
Okay, so there's just
They
you're gonna
reach
be
terminal velocity falling directly at you. How much? $1 billion in pennies. How much do you think that weighs?
a lot. And
And
also, can you
that hits you
spin?
all at once.
Can you spin pennies still? It is technically legal tender, but man,
100%. Yeah.
gosh, dude, $1 billion in pennies.
You would
That's
drown in it.
that's 100 billion pennies. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a Google search here. How much
You would
would
never
a
get out of that
100?
room. You would just suffocate inside of a pile of pennies.
Okay, 100 billion pennies, according to our Google overlords, is
Thank you.
551,155,655 pounds, which is 275,578 US tons. Are tons different? Not important. So there's over 200,000 tons being dropped on your head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't even have to like the amount of space it would take. You can't dodge it. It's probably the size of like 3 houses altogether, you know?
Yeah, it works.
And last one. I wish for perfect health.
Yeah, I just make you immortal.
Yeah, that is a problem within itself.
Yeah. Well, that's, if I take away all of your health issues and let you live forever, that's really cool, right?
No, because then you got to watch all your loved ones die. There's the philosophical.
Well, don't worry about it.
It's like
I
that.
mean, you're going to be around when the sun explodes, and that still ain't going to kill you. So enjoy yourself floating through the vastness of space.
You get to figure out what that real nothingness is. It's like that one Greek story where the guy he gets immortality, but there's a bird always eating his stomach. You know, like ugh.
There's Sisyphus.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember these Greek guys' names, but I remember the stories. They're cool stories. They're crazy. Okay, Igor, take us to the artistry of obsession.
Yes.
So the artistry of obsession. So this is all the other cool stuff that they did. So this is not just related to how it connects with me. This is how they actually put it together. And the way this movie was put together is one really well documented online. So you get to see a lot of the stuff, and it's cool. It's very cool. Two, for the budget they were working with, man, these guys were master workers. I'm not here to say anything poor about the way this film was put together. Not really. I thought that as far as horror movies go, you couldn't ask for better.
Like you were saying earlier, though, and like these kids have been around for a while doing this together, and they make short films on a YouTube budget that are very good. So they've trained themselves to be able to do just what they did. You know, what would this took them 25 days to film and 750 grand? Like,
Mm-hmm.
your heart out, Hollywood. Like, there was no problems with it. It didn't show. The cracks didn't show from it being fast or cheap.
No, no, they had an idea and they just went through and they busted it out efficiently and effectively. I mean, I think a
How
movie
many
like
videos did they make as a team before this? Uh,
it had to
I'm
be
gonna
a
look that up
few,
later.
but one of the
Well,
things,
I've had to have seen 100 of them.
yeah, and one of the things I would say is that clearly Curry Barker knows how to direct actors because the acting in this movie throughout from every single person is just phenomenal. Um, in Indy, and I think that's how you pronounce her name. It might be pronounced differently because there's no I after Indy, and that's I just know music Indy. So if I sound like an idiot, let me know. But Indy Navarrete just absolutely kills it, and she kills it in every way. Her physical acting is top notch. Her ability to act through her facial control is something that I haven't seen in a long time. And you may think like, okay, it's just memes and her making funny expressions, but it's not. If you watch the film, I watched it the second time, and the thing I got out of the movie the
Yeah.
most the second time is how the big expressions that you see posted everywhere always were the result of a lot of micro expressions that occurred as things were changing in scenarios. And she was clicked in, she was connected to this character at all times, and she was required to do a lot of different things, and she just knocked them all out of the park.
Yeah, she was awesome. Um, she also does that. She did live streaming and YouTube videos as well. I just think they're able to capture so much. So much is like done where we're at right now. You know, you tell a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
story with your face, not through what's happening in the scene. You know, and a lot of movies tell you the story in the scene. Well, this person is trying to have an orchestra with their face and does an amazing job with it. Curry and Cooper. So Curry is the friend in the movie, or not? Curry is the director. He's also the guy on the phone when they call. Cooper Tomlinson is the friend who acts in this, but he's the writing partner and acting partner of Curry Barker. And they have a YouTube channel which only has 1.2 million followers, called That's a Bad Idea. They have 570 videos they've made on there.
It's
So
kind of
they,
wild that the number's still so low after bombing, like just destroying the box office.
yeah, I just don't think people know yet.
Yeah, that's you should check it out because they are funny. Like you can see where the timing comes from, and like a lot of them have that same, not the same vibe exactly, but you can tell the horror underneath it. Sometimes on it.
Here's like them in a nutshell. Like, he's out eating dinner with this girl. Guy walks up to pay the bill. He goes, "Do you accept Apple Pay?" And the guy's like, "Well, yeah, we do." And so he starts pulling apples, physical apples, out of a bag and counting them. And then he's like, "Oh, it's 75 cents." So he eats a quarter of the ha ha. But that's the whole thing, and it's all done very artistically. But like, or like they did another one with the same vein, tap to pay. And so he tap dances in front of the till to pay, and like he makes him keep doing it. And then like, "Well, your tap to pay is not working, sir. Maybe insert it." And so then he unzips his pants and walks towards the thing, and it cuts. You know, so that kind of humor.
It's goofy, but look, here's the one comparison that I do think is really good because a lot of people, what I've heard with these directors is that you want young directors, and I think that's always been true. Young directors are the ones who come out and swing and hit things out of the park, but comedians as directors is the thing that I think has proven to be pretty true in this day and age. What people are wanting, they want very clever things, Like you talk about
There's
Jordan
nobody
Poole.
more depressed, dark, and fucked up than a comedian.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you see with Jordan Poole, he started in Mad TV. You know, Zach Kreger, he started in Whitest Kids You Know. You know, Corey Parker started with his own YouTube channel.
It seems like
And
that's the only viable way of getting anything of substance made anymore for these young
mm-hmm.
kids. You're not going to get a sketch TV show on MTV at 2 a.m. anymore. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, college humor's gone, and we don't have like a classic Comedy Central pumping out all these shows that you were like, okay, I'll watch those, and oh my god, it actually ended up being hilarious. You don't have the audience there anymore.
Nope.
So, the on the second watch, one thing that really stood out to me is how little music there is in this film. There's really not a lot of music in this film, and that makes sense because they're not going to buy rights or have someone make a ton of music for it with 750,000. However, every time you do have music around, it is very effective.
The silence is effective too, though, because you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to sit in it. You don't want to sit in that silence and the awkwardness and the uncomfortableness of the situation. And when you have something else happening, like a scene in the background happening or like music happening, you can dial into that to kind of take yourself away from it. This movie does not give you that life raft. You are involved with what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And the special effects in the film, again, there's not like a ton, but every single one is just so good. Every time there's a wound on someone's body, like, okay, I'll walk you through with Nikki. So you got the bottle breaking on her face. Oh my gosh, it looks so cool, and it's not overdone. Like it is they bleed a lot, but that's what faces do. But the slits aren't like gigantic. She didn't take her eye out. This is like awful. Then you have her hit her own face with a brick later, and the coolest part about that, and I feel bad saying the coolest part about that, is she breaks her nose, right, and that looks awesome. But the wounds that she had from the bottle break all open up like they had just gotten hit by something. And I was just looking at it, and I'm like, it's not just that they can do it effectively, it's that they have an attention to detail in every one of these scenes. They don't forget those things, and maybe that's what the 20 days taping actually does help, is you don't have time to forget about these things. But
530 things, and I'm sure they missed a lot of things in the first 2 or 300 that they didn't miss in the next 2 or 300. Like,
yeah,
real
just
clean,
brilliant. The tattoos,
the attention to detail was bonkers. Yeah,
it was so good. The tattoos on Nikki's body after she has brought Sarah back to her house, then drew them on herself, was it's so dark, but it was so good. Like, it is this moment of just pure abstract terror. You just feel
sadness. Just feels so
like,
bad.
She's trying to take Sarah's identity, or her visual identity at the very least, so that way she can better please Bear. And through it, she's destroyed Sarah. She's basically destroyed herself at this point. And you're just watching two people destroy themselves to try to get the love of one. Not themselves, to be clear, but an analogy for themselves. Sarah didn't really kill herself.
No.
I'm recognizing as I'm walking through, I'm like, this isn't exactly what I mean to say, but you're watching two people's lives be destroyed for the love of someone who at this point doesn't even want it anymore.
Yeah. No,
but can't get rid of it.
You're too much of a mess now. like it's not his fault. You're just too much for me. Yeah, I created you, but you're too much for me now. I'm gonna move on.
It's like he's like, I will have control over you, but it has to be under my my rules. And the entity that's inside of Nick says, no, it ain't under your rules. It ain't under your rules. It's under my rules, and they're bad rules. They're bad shit, dude.
And just goodness.
Yeah. the
So
Sarah's
when she
desecrated
pops
body.
back to reality after he pop, like, do you think that she just remembers everything, like she was there the whole time during that
I
stretch?
do. Yeah. 100% do. Like this was a very bad ending for Nikki. Also, I don't know. Like there could have been a good ending at the end of this.
No.
Nikki's going
What
to
a
prison for a long time, probably for life.
I didn't even
And
think about that. Hell yeah, she is.
yeah, because there's 2 dead bodies, and one was absolutely killed by her, and in a way that I don't think she cared about leaving evidence or not. Like she thought about disposing of the body, but instead just brought it home.
I
Like
mean, yeah, why not?
she needed to copy the tattoos over. That's way more important than getting out of prison. But the she's going to a second prison. Like she was in the first prison during the movie, the prison of the body after being possessed, and in the second prison, she's going to be in that real prison. So
I
Bear
love that
through
the
his
person that ruined her life also ruined her life after he stopped. Yeah, awesome. So he just ruined everything for her forever. And she'll
Mhm.
probably get put in a mental hospital because she's going to be, yeah. Yeah, all right, cool. Cool. That guy's awesome.
Well, here's the only way out that I can imagine, and this is very like, let's get technicalities. Let's get some technicalities going here. So, getting out of this would require one thing, and it would be another One Wish Willow. But she snapped one earlier to make Bear love her forever. However, that wasn't her Nikki. That was possessed Nikki. So here's my question for you, Adam. Does she get a wish, or did the possessed Nikki use her wish?
Possess Nikki.
And so that counts as her wish?
It shouldn't, but, laws for thee and not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can take that answer. So yeah, she's fucked. That was the only way I could think of, is that she gets another wish and she goes, I wish I don't go to prison for all this. She'd get shot or something. That's what would happen. But
Yeah, great movie, by the way. But we're not kidding. It is really good. Um, but yeah, this is all. It hits you with this stuff like somebody with just a hammer, just hitting you
mm-hmm,
over. It's just
mm-hmm.
over your head. And I don't think that while you're watching it, the severity of what's happening hits you until she starts stabbing herself in the peeing on the carpet and stabbing herself in the face. And you're just like, oh my God, this movie's dark. Like,
It manages to do that, yeah, exceptionally well, because I agree, when you're watching it, it doesn't feel as dark as I think it is. Um,
no, they just build the abusive relationship so well, where there's like this level of comfort and almost understanding and like maybe hope that like, oh, things are gonna be all right, and then
just bad, and that's not even like, we haven't even really touched on like the cool movement stuff they do in the dark and like with the camera tricks and everything. I don't know if you've ever seen the Japanese version of Pulse, the horror movie. So
no,
in that film,
but it really
they
does
do a
have a
lot of
lot of that like ringish kind of quality, just like
and they do like weird off body movements where it's like, it definitely feels like camera tweakage is going on, and it brings you out of this world, because there's no one in the world who can move like that. Like when she reverses in the middle of the scene, or when you're seeing her in the background and she's moving her arms all funky, just that cool stuff that reminded me so much of Pulse. Maybe we should do that movie at some point.
sure.
But
Yeah, it was very disconcerting. The jerkiness, the you see it a lot in like yeah, like possession movies or even like zombie virus movies and stuff, but just like that inability to control your movements and like moving in bone cracking ways, but it's fluid, like
mhm.
it's just obviously your brain is just like, that's not okay. That person is dying, or something, but like they're not. And so I think it just messes with your fight or flight reflex. You're like, I need to get away from that thing because that's not okay.
One thing I really did love is the lines they gave Bear in each of those situations was 100% just like a toddler response, like, "You're scaring me," like they didn't
Well,
give him anything else.
he's a little bitch, dude.
He, oh God, so much so. Like, how did that cat get those pills in the beginning? No one ever questions that. Why were those pills out in a way the cat could get them? Is he just getting high on opiates in his room for someone else, or is he just like, who knows what he did to that
Yeah,
cat,
he
man?
getting high on opiates.
Um,
Why
he
would you
does work
keep
at a
him?
music store.
I mean, I assumed that he was. But yeah, the cat dying part made me super sad too. Like, he didn't seem to care as much as he should have.
No, he was like, I'm so sad I can't hang out and do trivia. And she's
I
like,
guess I
no, you
can.
really need to. And he's like, oh, okay.
My cat OD'd on my painkillers. Sure, let's go out. Garbage.
It's just so whack. It's like he wants to be perceived as someone who cares about his cat, but he doesn't actually care. You know, that is the sociopathic part of him, whereas the niceness is such a mask.
Could you imagine if you killed your animal like that? I would cry for 72 hours. I wouldn't be going to a bar.
No, no, no. And no. And I can't imagine. I'm gonna try not to. The um is there any other part of the artistry that you specifically wanted to bring up, Adam? Or
It was clean, man. Real clean. It had a professional shine to it. It they had their it defeats so many other movies and what it did artistically and with the writing and things. We talk about punching above your weight with some movies. That's not even this. This is just like great art. It's not punching above every. It just is what it is. And some movies just are what they are. And say for me to say that about a movie means that I think the world of it. And so awesome. I didn't like I would love to be the kind of movie critic that would be able to recognize the things I should criticize about the cameras or but like I'm not that person, and to me there wasn't a flaw. Like, how do you do that? I don't know. Like, be those guys. But like it was awesome. Yeah. The visuals were awesome. I hated it. I hated the visuals, which means they were great. The special effects were awesome. um, Working on that budget and making things. You didn't have a lot of sets. You didn't have, you used a couple of public spaces. That probably cost you a few bucks, but then other than that, you just used apartments and like, yeah, and everything is clean, awesome. Yeah, no complaints, and just positive things to say. And me and my practical effects. Love seeing somebody's face bash into a steering wheel till it turns into apple juice. Like awesome. Thanks.
and then the willingness to show the close up on it afterwards. Not a lot of movies can pull that. And
Well, because would be a latex mess most of the time, right? Like they don't
mhm.
take the time to like really. Somebody really did that with a lot of love. That makeup.
And then having her body in the background later, willing to do it again, where she's naked with the tattoos, like that shot where she's naked with the tattoos in the back at the very end is like almost a throwaway shot at a certain point, but it is like one of the darkest shots in the movie.
That's why I'm saying it's like everything in this movie felt thought out. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was very intentional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that person has just been thrown onto the trash heap, right? Like it spoke volumes.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurts the soul to see, like, it's like, oh, here's the only genuinely good person. Of course
Here
this
she
is
is.
what's happening to their body.
She's stripped naked and being copied over by someone who is not themselves, someone who's been possessed by someone evil.
Yeah.
Um, so let me ask you this question. What's the shot or moment in this movie that you think you'll remember a year from now, 10 years from now, forever, maybe?
Stabbed yourself in the face. And when she pisses
Yeah.
on the carpet.
Yeah. Those are good ones. Those are good. There's so many moments in this movie. For me, I think it's almost like and we're going to talk a little bit more about it, but the Hansel and Gretel fanfic that she basically reads off during the drinking game, that
Yeah.
is just one of the most awful things you could say at a party. and they somehow just make it work with just words and the little
Yeah.
vocoder change. Just her reading that, and she does such a good job of just busting into like an old English accent, like
It's
oh,
terrifying. Yeah.
but word like you're like, oh no, whoever wrote this, there's no chance in hell they're a sane person. I can guarantee you that much. That is not the ramblings of someone who is okay of mind.
Right.
Um, but I mean, there's a million shots in this movie. Like each of the vignettes that you talked about really has within it substance, something worth seeing. So you could take almost any part of this film and sub it in here, and I would agree with you. That's the beauty of it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's scenes that I felt more comfortable watching than those, but 10 years from now, I'm still going to see that poor girl stabbing herself with a bottle. And I'm going to see her that look of, I don't know what the facial expression is, but when she starts going to the bathroom while she's standing there, it's like pain and sadness. And like, it's all of these emotions she's running through with her face. And like her face, more than the mess she makes, her face is going to stick with me because it was like a face of like true torture. Um, and this is a movie that had its like Empire Records moments, him and Sarah kicking it at the store talking about stuff. Like it had that chill, oh, this could be a chill fun movie, but it wasn't. So there was a bunch of great scenes that carried into those things, but I don't know, fucking until I die, I'm just always gonna fucking remember that. I've never seen somebody stab themselves in the face with a bottle like that. Big B in Train Spotting does it to that one guy when he breaks the beer bottle and stabs him in the face with it. It's the same sort of motion, and I've remembered that for 20 years. And the guy's name that did it in the movie, so yeah, I'll remember that.
So this is a good one. And to think that these, Bear and Nikki both got some of their starts on Superman related projects. Funny enough.
They did.
Nikki was in Lois and Superman,
Okay.
and
Oh, I
Bear
guess I
was
did read
in
that.
Bear was in Supergirl. So that's funny. Just
That
there's
is fun.
diamonds in
I
those
didn't know
mountains.
that. No, that's sick.
What you got to do is you got to look at the kid actors from the superhero TV series. That's what you got to do, and you'll find someone who has something.
Right.
But let's move on now to the 5 things you likely did not know, Igor, if you will.
Yes.
5 things you likely did not know about Obsession. And Adam, you chose the movie. I will let you take the lead.
So I talked about it earlier, and obviously at this point we've talked about it a lot, but Coop and Curry are longtime friends and have been running a YouTube channel called That's a Bad Idea. I feel like it's a good thing for me to say again, though, because I looked and it's got 1.2 million subscribers. That's crazy. I feel like more people actually went and saw this movie than are subscribed to his channel. Anyways, if you like maybe not this lane of like content, but like the style of this content, go watch their shorts. They're awesome. But yeah, now we know even more. They've done over 500 of them to date before they did this movie.
It's a lot of practice. That really is. You can nail in some ideas too.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of those do you think had like the synthesis of these ideas? They just weren't refined.
There's some darkness that creeps into those sometimes, and just like, but just such like absurdist concepts that get realized in a way that makes you say, well, fuck. makes you take That make you take absurd concepts seriously,
Yeah.
which
Um.
is hard to portray in a way that isn't absurdist, right?
Mhm,
And they
mhm.
can do that through their use of sarcasm and flippant behavior. It really helps you get away with a lot when it comes to, because of course things are this way, right? Of course I can pay my bills with apples. Of course I break this stick and this girl's in love with me. by subverting your expectation of reality and just replacing it with their own reality, but in such a way that it's not shoved in your face. It's just this is the way things are in this reality, and they do such a seamless way of portraying it that it doesn't really take you out of what's going on. I would say with a lot of like the older sketch comedy stuff, the absurdism takes you out of it in a lot of ways, because it's just like unbelievable because it's so over the top. They make it over the top, right? Like clownery and buffoonery over the top. Their stuff doesn't do that.
Usually you have like a straight man playing the role next to the person who's being absurdist to kind of ground you in reality. And I think you do have it in this movie to an extent, but they're mostly relegated to just very few scenes. So this is like, okay, well, here's this idea that's crazy and we're going with it. And you don't have anyone to tell you that it's not what's happening or that it could be something else.
Right.
This is just what's happening.
Yep. I love it.
Also, I think that we may be entering into like a time period where that's just what we get because people can seem to do things and there's no one here to ground reality around them. So why not? Let's go. My fun fact, and this is a fun fact. I actually laughed pretty hard when I heard this. So Cooper Tomlinson, he actually found his current girlfriend while filming the movie Obsession. And I don't just mean at the same time. His current girlfriend was an extra during the party scene. This is the scene where, well, I guess imagine finding love in a scene with that Hansel and Gretel fanfic playing over the top. Like you have to listen to that, and you're just looking at this lady like, I think we can go out, right?
I'm feeling something here. Could be the
Like,
story.
And that's the long, fleshy licorice of Hansel's arm.
Something's got me worked up, though. I think it's you.
The way she talks about her brother and sister, that's really something.
Yeah, well, good for him. Right on.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
I laugh, but no, really good for him.
Yeah. Wonder if he broke a stick to make that happen.
It's like, we got one of these extra hanging out in the back, you know what I'm saying? Let's break this real quick.
My next fact was, okay, so it was 26 days to film with a budget of $750K. If you told me it took 3 months or 6 months to film with a budget of $10 million, I would be like, that seems accurate. So the fact that they got it done with so much less, it just feels like it was so much more. Very impressive. I know quality of cameras and stuff have increased over time, and they've probably overbuilding all of these movies and stuff have a pretty good kit, but wow.
Yeah, really. I mean, yeah, I hope Focus takes and learns a lesson from this, right?
A24 just
A24
started doing all the AI stuff. They just started onboarding AI movies. Cool.
They can shoot themselves in the foot right now. That's fine. Let these let Neon pop up. You know, let Focus come up. Let's find some of this because now apparently you don't need that money to do this. Maybe you never did. Yeah, maybe that's the trick. You know.
I mean, there's some good $0 movies out there. Not a lot though.
Definitely not all. I can guarantee you that. My next fun one, also related to the same scene, is that the Hansel and Gretel fanfic wasn't actually written by anyone involved in this movie in any other way. It was written by Curry Barker's father.
That's what he would tell him as a bedtime story. That's how he got this way.
Yeah, that has to be it. They said it was done so that there was a unique voice, that, you know, like a unique tone voice reading the poem.
It's the brilliance of doing shit like that those kind of key points that are littered throughout this movie that makes it so good. Of course they did that. Like, it is, who would think to do that? You would hand it to a writer and tell them, you know, like, perfect, brilliant, awesome.
There are like two things for this. The first thing is that I loved this and the reason why I love the Hansel and Gretel fanfic is because it also, to me, points so clearly to possession. That fanfic that she reads, to me, just reads like something the devil would write. You know what I mean? Like, it is so off, so sinister, and so nasty at its core. that it is written by a dark entity. You know what I mean? Like, it's not
and
just
a much older voice. Yeah.
And a much, like, she's got the British tone she hits. All of a sudden she's telling this old voice about, incest between brother and sister that are, from what we know, are in a very tragic situation also, but the sister is the one now twisting it all instead of the witch involved. And it's nasty, right? And the second is 100% who the fuck is Curry Barker's dad? Because if he's writing that shit down on a piece of paper, what the fuck?
Family of creatives, you would assume, right?
you would, at the very least at this point, hope. He's like,
and we
I've never written a thing in my life. I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh no. Yeah, it gave me the vibe, and I think I've brought up this book before, but it gave me that like Wasp Factory vibe, just absolute degenerate, disgusting. Like, not a lot of things give me the ick, but that was pretty close. I was like, oh, come on, don't talk like that.
She's like, I know that you will sleep inside of me like you have other nights. I'm just like, stop. You have to stop. We can't be doing this, dude. Like, every part of it is just disgusting, and it ends with like cutting off.
When's that movie coming out?
Yeah, that's 2029, I think.
My last one was Curry got the idea from the Simpsons, the Treehouse of Horror Monkey's Paw episode. I thought that was funny that he brought that up. I actually just brought it up earlier because I thought it was funny. But yeah, I love the Treehouse of Horrors. I actually collect them on VHS. I think they're some of the finest writing that the Simpsons do is the Treehouse of Horror episodes. And so to pick that one specifically, which is such a great episode in general, just makes me happy. Just ties my whimsy up in a neat little bow.
Oh, I love the Treehouse of Horror. This is one of my tattoos right here. Is the Treehouse of Horror? Yeah.
You also have Inside Out Bart at your house.
Yeah, I do. He's not in the room, otherwise I'd grab him. But
tap dancing Inside Out Bart.
The Simpsons are lovely, and the Treehouse of Horror episodes, I agree. You get vignettes and like takes on classical stories that are so much smarter than other TV at that era or any era really at this point. And it's from a show that you wouldn't guess that, All right, Igor, take us to the final section.
Yes.
How does this movie stay with you after the credits roll? I'll answer this question first here, Adam, because I made you answer the rest of the questions first. So we'll have some parody going. This movie, immediately after I watched it on Thursday, the early preview that came out, whenever it came out in theaters. And I remember me and Janice went together and we left the theater, and the first thing I said to her was like, holy shit, that movie's going to blow the fuck up. Because it is just so incredibly well made. And this is one of the few movies where I'm like, if you found something wrong with this, like seriously wrong with this movie, and you don't like it for some reason, you're just being a contrarian piece of shit.
That's a you thing at that point, because there ain't nothing wrong with it.
Exactly. Everyone's like, it's too predictable. And I'm like, shut up, dude. It's not. Like, it's not. And I'm not usually that way. Usually I'm really like into speaking your opinions. But on this one, I think there's just few films that you just walk away from. You're like, that was too well made. It's just too tight. It's too good.
I think we see the value of youth doing movies on shoestring budgets as a vehicle for better art to be made. And so I think it gives us hope, right? That that we're going to see more of these independently creative projects instead of the slop we've had shoveled onto us for so long.
It got me so hyped about movies that I did something I almost never do. And immediately after watching this movie, I just went and watched Hokum, because I was like, movies are the greatest. They're the best thing that exists. There's just so good, and there can be no other thing that's as good as movies. I need to go watch another one right now. And Hokum, also a pretty great movie. But Obsession is just on this level where it doesn't need to stay with me after this film is done, because it's going to stay with the pantheon of horror movies. It's not going to just be forgotten about. This is like your next Hereditary that you're going to hear about on your top list, and it deserves to be there.
it gave me the same feeling of like being excited about the art as like the first time I saw 28 Days Later, on a shoestring budget with gear that wasn't great, but still was able to provide an experience that was way beyond what it should have been. Like that's the last time I've like watched a movie and been like, wow, like this is going to be in rotation. Like this is getting a physical copy in my life, and this is something I'll probably see at least 10 more times before I die, because I think it's going to hit just as hard the next time I watch it. Like, and I think that these are the kind of movies that like I like to pick apart and I like to get into and I like to see all the background things because everything does seem so intentional.
Yeah, 100%. God, just what a good movie. Like,
Yeah.
we're not doing the ratings anymore. I'm going to throw out a rating 9.75 out of 10. And that's only because I'm hesitant to give out full 10s for anything in my life. I'm afraid of that commitment. Unlike Bear and
I do
Nikki.
the 0 through 100 in a movie like this is like, it's like 90. I could it, the only reason I wouldn't give it 100 is because it's not the kind of movie. See, here's what's crazy. This isn't the kind of movie I really want to watch necessarily. Like, if somebody put this much quality into like a fantasy movie or something, like my head would explode, like Lord of the Rings style. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
but you
I
like
know what
so
you mean. I know what
so
you mean.
98, just because I want to watch something where people don't stab themselves in the face. But that's on me, right? I'm
Right.
being picky and it's on me. And I'm just going to shut up and fish about it. -2 points because that girl got tortured, and how dare you?
Yeah, and I'm not even here. Like the only reason I'm giving the
It's a
rating on this
it's a
movie is
fucking
because I
10
want
out
you to
of
know
10, man.
it, it
It's
it is so goddamn good, and it got me excited for movies again in a period where you're hearing all about Netflix buying out AMC. You're hearing about all of this garbage shit going on. You've got AI coming onto the scene hardcore and threatening to take over one of the
they're
best
just
independent
dumping
releasers
buckets
we
of
have.
chum over all of us.
And here comes Curry Barker, one of the kids, to show you that like one battle after another said, the youth are the ones that can save us because the youth are the ones that always save us. It's not the old people. It's the young people coming in. They're going to show you, no, don't worry, dog. Art exists and it will continue to exist, and it will continue to exist at a high octane level because people like to make shit and they're good at it.
Do you know who I think has a chance to do this kind of stuff? That kid that did Payne's Branch. And when we talked to him, because he had that same,
Mm-hmm.
if he just had 750K, like kids are so good at
Really, I'm
this,
like,
at the storytelling.
he's cutting his teeth, like, and I love that good throw out because yeah, the guy who did Payne's Branch, like Payne's Branch may not be it, but it could be a stepping stone to it. And the fact that he did so much there,
Just had that heart to it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
felt somebody cared about it. It wasn't
exactly.
how do we make this as monetizable as possible. And I don't want to get into the Odyssey, but yeah, pack it full of A-list actors, spend $1 billion on special effects, and here's your come and watch it in IMAX, and like this is what you get. Like, yeah, that's good. I enjoy Twinkies and soda pop. Like, it's great, but it's not. There's just not a lot of really good. There are a lot of really good movies that are stories that are being made, but not pushed. And it's
Mm-hmm.
nice. I hope that more stuff starts getting pushed. The only reason I went out of my way to see this because I liked their YouTube channel. I didn't know it was going to blow up like this. I was talking to you, and I'm like, dude, let's watch this, and you're like, I did, and it's great. And I was like, so happy to hear that because like these guys I watch on YouTube, I know that they're successful and have money, but it always feels like the little guy, and you're rooting for them, and and there's so much good art on there. Like, give some of these people a chance.
I'm just a sucker for getting hope in the future generations. I'm such a sucker for it. Give me all the hope in the future generations. Keep showing me good hope from future generations of like just art, humanity, shit like that. And I know that this is one of the most bleak, dark movies you could watch in regards to this, but the art and the fact that he could make it in the way just shows how much heart still exists within us.
Yeah.
It's not
Well, it
lost.
does speak to the world that they've been brought up in, though. that there was a normalcy to it all, right? The
I mean,
normality they brought to such a situation. It didn't have to be crazy because crazier things happen every day.
can you imagine like that generation growing up with Tinder and like dating apps being the number one way of hooking up? God damn. No wonder it's all so dark in their heads. Uh,
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I'm
no.
so glad I'm married and old. I just couldn't imagine.
The idea of looking at in your phone and getting lost. Anyways, we don't have to get into that. The thank you, Adam. Always a pleasure to speak to you about the film. Um, the next movie you'll see on this channel will be a film called Watching the Detectives. That is a 2007 film by, I believe it was Paul Soder. It's part of the Cillian Murphy marathon that me and Janice are doing, so you'll get to hear about that. But until then, I'm so sorry you had to see that baby, but it's kind of your fault.
It is.
Igor and the pod.
Goodbye, Master.